In the middle of World War II, a secret war was raging in the dark, cold depths of the Atlantic. It was a battle of technology, of wits, of survival. And the Allies were losing, until they unleashed a weapon so advanced it felt like science fiction, a weapon that could literally hear its prey. This is the incredible story of Fido.
You have to understand the Atlantic was a graveyard. German U-boats, the infamous wolf packs, were absolutely strangling the Allied war effort. They were sinking supply ships faster than they could be built. They were invisible, deadly, silent hunters, and for a long time it seemed like there was no way to stop them.
I mean, that was the million-dollar question, right? The U-boats could strike from hundreds of feet below the surface and then just vanish. Dropping conventional depth charges was like throwing a rock into a lake and hoping you hit a specific fish. The Allies were fighting blind, and they desperately needed a game-changer.
So, the answer came from a super-secret project. A huge gamble, really. They set out to create a weapon that could almost think for itself. What they came up with was a technological leap so massive it would change naval warfare forever.
Of course, a project this secret needed a code name. And to throw spies off the scent, they picked the most harmless, unassuming name you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, seriously. Fido, like a dog. The idea was simple. It was designed to fetch. Only its target wasn't a stick. It was a 700-ton German submarine. This wasn't just another weapon. This was an autonomous hunter.
So this is it. Officially, it was called the Mark 24. And on paper, they actually called it a mine to keep its true purpose a secret. It was 7 feet long, weighed almost 700 pounds. It definitely packed a punch, but the explosive charge wasn't the amazing part. The real magic was what was inside.
And look at who built this thing. This wasn't some backyard project. This was like the Manhattan Project of underwater warfare. You had Bell Labs in Harvard creating its ears, General Electric building the engine and steering, Western Electric providing the power. All the biggest brains in the country came together in secret to build this thing.
So, how did it work? I mean, how on earth could a torpedo hunt a submarine all by itself in the vast empty ocean? This is where it gets really, really cool.
The technology was called acoustic homing. Simply put, Fido was the world's first true smart weapon. Think about that for a second. In the 1940s, they basically invented a fire-and-forget guided missile for the ocean. You didn't have to aim it perfectly. You just had to get it in the ballpark, and Fido would handle the rest.
Okay, so picture this. An Allied plane spots a U-boat, or at least where it just submerged. It swoops down and drops Fido into the water. The torpedo doesn't just zoom off. No, it starts a slow, circular search pattern, and all it's doing is listening. Its hydrophones were tuned to the exact sound frequency of a U-boat's propellers, and once it heard that sound, it was game over. Fido would lock on and steer itself right into the target. No escape.
So, all this amazing tech sounds great, but did it really make a difference in the war? Oh, you better believe it. This weapon didn't just help the Allies fight the Battle of the Atlantic, you could argue it helped them win it. Just look at the raw data, because it's absolutely stunning. With the old-school depth charges, your success rate was under 10%. About 1 in 10 attacks actually worked. But with Fido, that number jumps to 22%. It was more than twice as deadly. Suddenly, the U-boat hunters weren't shooting in the dark anymore. The tables had completely turned.
All told, Fido is credited with taking 37 U-boats out of the fight for good. Now, 37 might not sound like a huge number, but every single U-boat sunk saved dozens of Allied ships and thousands of lives. It was a massive strategic blow to the German war machine.
But the story doesn't stop there. Because out of all those 37 kills, there's one mission that stands out. A story that sounds like it was ripped straight from a Hollywood blockbuster, involving not just a submarine, but a massive treasure in sunken gold. All right, let's set the scene. It's June 1944. The American carrier, the USS Bogue, is prowling the Atlantic. Its job is to hunt U-boats. But on this particular day, they stumbled onto something different. A very high value and very unusual target. Their target wasn't a German U-boat at all. It was the giant Japanese submarine I-52. Now, what's a Japanese sub doing in the Atlantic? It was on a secret mission, a blockade run, to deliver a special cargo to Nazi Germany. An aircraft from the Bogue spots it, dives in, and releases its single weapon, one Fido torpedo. And here is where the story gets absolutely wild. That special cargo? The I-52 was carrying a secret payment for German weapons technology.
On board were 146 bars of solid gold, weighing more than 2 tons. The stakes for this one single torpedo attack were just astronomical. The Fido hit the water and began its hunt. It locked onto the sound of the I-52's propellers and closed in for the kill. A few moments later, it struck home. The submarine and its incredible, priceless cargo was sent straight to the bottom of the Atlantic.
And this is where the story becomes a legend. Decades after the war, treasure hunters actually found the wreck of the I-52, thousands of feet below the surface. But here's the thing. The gold was gone. It has never been recovered. It's still down there somewhere, a lost Axis treasure, put there by a little torpedo that could hear. And it really makes you wonder, what other secrets are still waiting for us in the silence of the deep?